Stop. Put the paintbrush down. Are you staring at a living room that feels like a lonely waiting room? I know that feeling. It is the sinking realization that your home resembles a sad office instead of a luxury retreat. But here is the secret. Achieving that high-end look has nothing to do with spending a fortune at the furniture store. It is all about color theory. Today we are going to transform your living room into a masterclass of aesthetics using only two colors at a time. No more confusion and definitely no more accidental toothpaste walls. Just pure, intentional design that will make your guests think you hired a professional. Let us start with something that feels like a crisp tuxedo. This is what I call the Midnight Manor look. It is for the person who wants their home to be a retreat from the chaos of the digital world. It is grounded and honestly just a little bit smug in a good way. The foundation here is deep navy, and I do not mean that bright blue that makes your eyes hurt. I am talking about a dark, saturated navy that has just enough black undertone to feel alive when the evening lamplight hits it. When you paint your walls this color, you are creating a blank canvas that feels like a deep shadow. Now, the luxury secret here is the contrast with cream. If everything is the same shade of blue, you are not living in luxury. You are living in a submarine. This is where we bring in the cream. This is not just yellow-white paint. This is about bringing in warm, buttery textiles in your upholstery or your window treatments. Think of a creamy, off-white sofa sitting against that dark navy backdrop. It creates a vertical rhythm in the room. When you have a dark wall and a light, solid piece of furniture, the eye has somewhere to rest. It feels intentional. It feels heavy. And in design, heavy often equates to expensive. When you are working with this palette, lighting is everything. Avoid those harsh, cool-toned daylight bulbs that make everything look blue. When the warm light hits the cream, it leans toward a soft, glowing gold. When it hits the navy walls, it turns into a rich and cozy velvet appearance. That transition throughout the day is what makes a space feel luxury. It is alive. And let us talk texture. If you are going for this luxury look, avoid flat fabrics. I am talking about those cheap, synthetic-feeling linens that wrinkle if you even look at them wrong. Go for tactile textures. Think boucle, mohair, heavy wool blends, or even matte linens with a high thread count. When you place a cream velvet throw pillow against a navy chair, you are creating a conversation between the materials. It is tactile, it is sensory, and it is what makes guests want to reach out and touch things. That is the goal. Now let us pivot. Maybe the crisp city vibe is not your speed. Maybe you want something that feels organic and deeply rooted in the earth. Enter the Mediterranean Garden Palette. This one is for the person who collects vintage pottery and probably has a very expensive sourdough starter. It is warm and inviting. We are starting with sage green. Think of the color of wild herbs on a hillside. It is calming and it brings a sense of serenity to your living room. When you use this on your walls, you are creating an environment that encourages relaxation. It is a very forgiving color. It works well with natural light and it softens the sharp corners of modern furniture. The second half of this equation is terracotta. This is your punch of energy. Terracotta brings in that sun-baked warmth that makes a room feel lived in and loved. Maybe it is a large-scale area rug, or a series of ceramic vases, or even a bold velvet ottoman. Sage and terracotta are a match made in heaven because they represent the balance of foliage and earth. It is a very natural, very tailored aesthetic that feels authentic. When you are styling this room, lighting needs to be purposeful. Because you have these earthy tones, you cannot rely on a single overhead light. Please, for the love of everything holy, throw out that singular light in the middle of your ceiling. You need layers. You need a floor lamp with a linen shade in the corner, a table lamp on your sideboard, and maybe some picture lights above your art. You want pockets of light, not a spotlight. When the light hits that sage green and reflects off the warm terracotta tones, it creates a depth that white walls can only dream of. The biggest mistake people make with this palette? They get scared. They do the earth tones and then they play it safe with the furniture. They keep their old light gray sofa and then they wonder why the room looks like a waiting area. If you are going to go earth tone, you have to lean in. You need bold furniture, you need interesting shapes, and you need to not be afraid of a little bit of drama. This aesthetic is not about being practical, it is about being iconic. It is about creating a space that feels like it has a soul. If the previous palettes were too soft for you, let us turn up the volume. This is the Architect palette. It is sharp and dramatic, and perfect for someone who loves clean lines and bold statements. We are talking about charcoal and ochre. Charcoal is a sophisticated neutral. It is dark and moody, but it does not have the harshness of pure black. It provides a stable background for your room. When you paint your walls in charcoal, you are essentially removing the visual clutter of the corners and making the room feel larger. It is an optical illusion of luxury. Then we introduce the hero, ochre. This is not yellow. It is not gold. It is that rich, earthy yellow that feels like sunshine captured in a bottle. When you place an ochre accent chair against a charcoal wall, you are creating a focal point that demands attention. It is bold and it is confident. The contrast is immense. It is the kind of color combination that makes people stop and look around the room. Think about the materials you use here. Velvet is the queen of this room. It absorbs light in a way that makes the color look richer and more complex. Consider an ochre velvet sofa against a charcoal wall. The contrast in texture between the matte wall and the soft fabric creates a visual feast. Pair this with a coffee table in a dark metal finish to keep the mood consistent. Do not be afraid to mix in some vintage pieces here. A brass lamp with a bit of patina or a dark wood antique chair can add a layer of history that makes the room feel lived in rather than store-bought. The goal is to create a space that feels like it has evolved over time. You want your guests to wonder where you found these unique pieces. That is the essence of a collected home. Now let us try something that sounds like it belongs in a fashion house. This is the Botanical Romance palette. It is soft and feminine, but it has a dark side. It is perfect for those who want their living room to feel like a high-end boutique hotel. Blush pink is a color that people often misunderstand. They think it is for a nursery or a teenager room. But when you use the right shade of muted and dusty blush, it becomes a neutral. It is elegant and it glows under soft lighting. Imagine walls in this gentle hue. It makes the room feel calm and welcoming. To ground all of that softness, we bring in forest green. This is not lime green. This is the deep and moody green of a dense canopy. When you pair forest green with blush, you are creating a balance between the delicate and the powerful. Maybe you bring in a deep green velvet rug or some large leafy plants in dark pots. The depth of the green keeps the pink from feeling too sweet. It makes the room feel sophisticated and grown up. The key to this aesthetic is the furniture selection. You want pieces that have soft curves. Think of a rounded sofa or a plush armchair. Avoid the sharp and boxy furniture that feels like it belongs in a sterile office. This palette is about comfort and luxury. It is about creating a space where you can retreat after a long day and feel immediately at peace. Remember that lighting is the glue that holds these colors together. In the evening, you want your space to feel like a glowing lantern. Use warm light sources scattered around the room at different heights. This creates a cozy atmosphere that makes the blush walls look even softer and the forest green accents look deep and mysterious. For those of you who want a room that feels like a quiet library in the countryside, look no further than the Heritage palette. This is for the person who loves textures and wants their living room to feel timeless. Taupe is a wonderful color because it is the perfect middle ground between gray and brown. It is warm and inviting, and it provides a beautiful backdrop for everything else in the room. When you have walls in a rich taupe, you are setting the stage for a space that feels grounded and secure. It is the ultimate neutral. Slate is our second partner. It is a blue-gray that feels cool and collected. When you bring in slate through your throw pillows or your drapery, or even your artwork, you are adding a layer of depth to the room. It feels like the stone and the earth working together. The combination of taupe and slate is very soothing. It is not loud and it does not demand attention. It just makes the room feel complete and well put together. When you are styling this room, think about layering textures. Use a wool throw on your sofa. Bring in a natural jute rug. Add some polished stone side tables. The beauty of this palette is how it lets the textures of your home take center stage. You do not need bold patterns or bright colors to make a statement. You just need quality materials and a consistent color story. This is a room for reading and for conversation. It is a space that does not feel like it has been designed to impress others. It is designed to be lived in. That is the secret of luxury. It is comfort that looks effortless. Ready for something bold? This is the Royal Solace palette. It is dramatic and luxurious, and perfect for a living room that you want to feel truly special. Plum is a deep and vibrant shade of purple. It is often associated with royalty, and for good reason. It is a complex color that looks different depending on the time of day. In the morning light, it can look soft and inviting. In the evening, it looks deep and mysterious. Painting your walls in a rich plum is a big move, but it pays off with a sense of depth that you simply cannot get with lighter colors. To balance out that intensity, we bring in sand. This is a light and neutral tone that brings a sense of brightness to the room. It acts as a release from the intensity of the plum. Maybe it is your furniture or your rug or your window treatments. Sand provides the visual relief that the room needs. When you use plum and sand together, you are creating a space that feels like a jewel box. It is luxurious and it is unique. This is not a look you see in every house on the street. It is the kind of design that shows you have confidence in your own taste. Think about using metallics here. A bit of gold or brass adds to the royal feel of the room. A lamp with a gold base or a mirror with a brass frame will catch the light and make the plum walls look even more vibrant. It is the perfect finishing touch for a room that is already bold and beautiful. Finally, we reach the Horizon palette. This is for those who want their living room to feel airy and light, yet grounded and sturdy. It is a perfect combination of sky blue and dark walnut wood. Sky blue is a color that brings a sense of peace to a space. It mimics the open air and makes a room feel larger and more refreshing. When you use it on your walls, you are creating a sense of expansiveness. It is light and it is airy, and it makes the room feel like a breath of fresh air. Walnut is a dark and warm wood that brings the stability to the room. It is rich and it is elegant, and it anchors the light colors of the walls. Whether it is your coffee table or your bookshelves or your picture frames, the walnut pieces serve as the anchor for the entire space. When you pair the sky blue with the walnut, you are getting the balance between the light and the dark. It is a classic combination that has been used in high-end homes for generations. It feels timeless and it never goes out of style. Lighting is crucial here. You want the sky blue to glow. Use soft and warm light to prevent the blue from feeling cold. The walnut will look beautiful under this warm light as it highlights the natural grain of the wood. This is a space that feels like a getaway. It is light and breezy, yet grounded in traditional quality. Remember that your home is a living story. These palettes are merely starting points, not rigid rules. Do not fear the occasional mistake, because a room without personality is just a showroom. Whether you crave the moody drama of Royal Solace or the breezy calm of the Horizon palette, start by trusting your instincts. Paint is just paint, but your vision is everything. Stop waiting for permission to be bold. Take that risk, layer in the textures you love, and turn your living room into the sanctuary you deserve. Your walls deserve better than safe and boring. Go grab a sample, test it, and start creating the home you were meant to live in. After all, you are the designer of your own life. Make sure your space reflects that.